Hey y'all, Little Drummer Boy here, and today this is my third video in a series of war memorials. I did one at Catawba County, check it out, Catawba County War Memorials, Lincoln County War Memorials, and now I'm doing Iredell County War Memorials. So let's look at this. This sign says Statesville in the Civil War. The raiders soon departed. On March 24th, 1865, Union General George Stoneman of 6,000 led 6,000 cavalrymen from Tennessee into southwestern Virginia and western North Carolina to disrupt the Confederate supply line, destroying sections of Virginia and Tennessee Railroad, the North Carolina Railroad, the Piedmont Railroad. He struck at Boone on March 28th, headed into Virginia on April 2nd, and returned to North Carolina a week later. Stoneman's raid ended at Asheville on April 26, the day that Confederate General Joseph E. Johnston surrendered to Union General William T. Sherman near Durham. And of course, this was at the end of the war, and Sherman was a war criminal who burned his way from Atlanta to, he practiced civilian warfare, and he burned his way from Savannah to from Atlanta to Savannah. And it was all out total warfare. We did the same thing with Japan, so, but I don't know, be a Southerner whose family lost family records in a courthouse that was burned. I think William Sherman was a war criminal. Here he is, George Sherman. Here's Governor Zebulon Vance. This was North Carolina's Confederate governor from the Asheville area, and the bonehead liberals in Asheville are now taking down the monument to him, trying to destroy history. After destroying the Confederate supply depot and prison at Salisbury, Union General George Stoneman led his raiders west towards Tennessee, arriving in Statesville, where I'm at now, on the night of April 13th, 1865. Here his men burned supplies, the railroad depot, the Iredell Express office, nearly setting the town afire. Some soldiers were accused of mistreating residents and beating one to compel him to lead them to hidden gold. The wife of Governor Zebulon B. Vance, however, received courteous consideration, and Colonel William J. Palmer, commander of one of Stoneman's brigades, ordered personal items returned to her that had been removed from one of her trunks. The raiders soon departed. As federal troops closed in on Raleigh near the end of the war, Governor Vance fled the city at midnight, April 12th, and joined his family here in the residence now called the Vance House. He remained there until Union cavalrymen arrested him on May 13th, taken to Washington, D.C., and held in the old Capitol prison for 7 weeks. Vance was finally released without being charged and returned here. He later removed to Charlotte, practiced law, and was elected U.S. Senator and held that office till his death in 1894. So Governor Vance, Confederate Governor Vance, later became a U.S. Senator, and the idiots in Asheville are tearing down his statue. Go figure. They also tore down Ulysses S. Grant's statue, the Union general that won the war and became president. The house was moved to Sharp Street in 1950. Iredell County voted 1,818 to 191 against the state secession convention in February 1861. So Iredell County voted against secession. They voted to stay with the United States of America. When President Lincoln called for 75,000 volunteers to suppress the rebellion after the surrender of Fort Sumter in Charleston in April, however, North Carolina seceded on May 20th. Statesville and Iredell County residents joined companies in 11 North Carolina regiments, the Home Guard, the Junior Reserve units, and the Home Guard was usually young men, like teenagers. My great-great-grandfather Jonas Colson was in the Home Guard down in Stanley County. Most fought in battles in eastern North Carolina and Virginia. Veterans later attended many reunions and Memorial Day services here. About 45 veterans are buried in Fourth Creek Landing Cemetery. and 200 at Oakwood Cemetery in Statesville. The Bois Arts, I can't speak French, y'all. The Bois Arts style former courthouse was built here about 1900, and there it is. So it's 120 years old. And this shows the route of Soman's raid in Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina, March and April 1865. So it looks like he came out of Jonesboro, Tennessee, into Morristown, into Boone, and then to Fort Hamby, down into Lenore, to Carson House, Swannanoa, Asheville. It's kind of hard to figure out where he went when. You have to kind of just follow the dates. Okay, he went Morristown, Boone on March 28th, Wilkesboro on March 29th, Jonesville April 1st, which is up near Mayberry, Mount Airy, and then Lenore on March 30th, Salem April 10th, Statesville, where I'm at now, April 13th, April 14th, Taylorsville, April 15th, Hickory, April 17th, Morganton, April 19th, Carson House, April 20th, Swannanoa Gap, April 26th, Hickory Nut Gorge, where Chimney Rock is, April 21st, he was in Rutherfordton, April 22nd, Howard's Gap, April 23rd, Hendersonville, where my alma mater, Fruitland Baptist Bible College is, April 26th, Asheville. He also went to Lincolnton on April 16th, Salisbury on April 12th. And then he went on to Hillsville on April 2nd through 10th. He went to Hillsville, Wytheville, Christiansburg, and Martinsville, Virginia. So let's have a look at the monuments. You see here they have some small mortars, nowhere near as big as the ones at the statue in Newton in Catawba County. Let's see if I can read what the mortar says here. Okay, this one weighs 1,498 pounds. And I really can't make out what the rest of it says, 66 something. And here is the Iredell County Confederate Memorial statue. I'm trying to chronicle as many of these as I can, because either I'm afraid they'll be torn down by ignorant Antifa BLM types who don't know history and don't know their butt from hole in the ground, or they'll be taken down by ignorant, politically correct politicians who don't know history or know their butt from a hole in the ground. It says, to the soldiers of Iredell County, 1861 to 1865, and it was erected in 1905, 115 years ago, to our Confederate dead. And here's some flowers and centennial and rededication of the monument in the memory of Iredell County Confederate soldiers, May 6, 2006. Dio Vindice, which whatever that means in Latin. Beautiful daylilies blooming here. I like how they've got flowers and stuff around the monument. That's cool. And then on this side it says, from Bethel to Appomattox. I've been to Appomattox. I've been to I've been to where the war started and where it ended. Those are the two battles I've been to, battlefields of Civil War battlefields. I've been to Fort Sumter and Charleston where it started, and Appomattox Courthouse where it ended. From Bethel to Appomattox, their courage, patience. You know what, the weather is starting to erode this off of here. Their courage, patience, fortitude, and endurance and unselfish devotion to the country are unparalleled in history. And even though they were on the wrong side of history at the time, the Confederate soldiers were men of valor. And and very heroic soldiers. Defenders of state sovereignty. See, even then in 1905, you know, they were like, this is not about slavery. It was about states' rights. Defenders of state sovereignty. That was a big part of it. Wow, I wish I could read this, but it is really faded. Something about they were, I can't read this top line, matters, and their cause, though lost, still just, and died for me and you. Not sure how just it was. I mean, I'm all for states' rights, and it was the second revolution in essence, but I don't see much justice in slavery because that was the state right being debated. But however, I have Confederate ancestors too, great-great-grandfathers that fought in the Confederacy, James Howe and Jonas Colson. And I love history. I think Civil War history is fascinating and tragic and sad as it is. But it is what it is, you know, and they were very valiant and brave men. And my late friend Todd Priest, who is a bigger history buff than I am, he told me that the reason the South is the Bible Belt is because there was such a Christian revival that swept through the Confederate troops. So we might have lost the war, but good came out of it. The South became the Bible Belt because of the revival. Okay, this is in memory of United Spanish-American War veterans, 1898 to 1902. I did not know that war went 4 years. I thought it was just 1898 only. And there again, the main reason we had this war, it wasn't really a just war. We had this war to steal the Philippines, which Jimmy Carter gave back. But up here, but still, you know, we should honor the soldiers who had to fight in it. Spanish War veterans, 1898 to 1902, USA, Philippine Islands, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. And let's see, let me see if I can find the other Iredell County memorials, because Statesville and Iredell County were founded in 1789, but their history goes way back further than that. Fourth Creek Presbyterian Church, just a few blocks from here. Like Charlotte, Statesville was founded by Presbyterians, and I love the In God We Trust on the courthouse. But Fourth Creek Presbyterian Church was founded here in 1750. They've had continuous services at that church for 270 years, since 1750. And of course, nearby here, and I'm going to do a video on it too, nearby here is Fort Dobbs, an English fort from the French and Indian War when they were fighting the Cherokee and the French. And it was built in 1756. So Statesville and Iredell County, Statesville is considered the oldest city in western North Carolina. And Statesville and Iredell County have a very long history. And let's see what I have here. Because even though Statesville and Iredell were founded in 1789, they go back way further than that, the actual history of here. R.J. Noble, Grand Master A.F. and A.M., August 29th, AD 1899. A.F. and A.M., isn't that something? I know the same thing at the Lincoln County Courthouse. They have Masonic stuff on the, that shows how much the Masons had control of things back then. On the cornerstones of these courthouses, they have Masonic stuff. Amazing. Nicholas Intercontractor, Hayden and Wheeler, and Schuin Architects. This just shows the county commissioners and those who got the courthouse built. Let's walk around to the other side and see if I can find the rest of the Iredell County War Memorials. It feels great out here now. It was sweltering hot earlier. By the way, guys, I've done several videos today because I'm trying to chronicle all this stuff before ignorant, history-hating people tear it down. So, good Lord, what's happening? But check out, I've done Catawba County War Memorials, Lincoln County War Memorials, and 2 videos on the Battle of Ramseur Mill, a Revolutionary War battle in Lincolnton, where there's a mass grave where 70 American patriots and British loyalists were all buried in the same grave after killing each other. So check this out. This is the old Iredell County Jail. See the bars on the windows? I'm wondering if this was where Thomas Dooley, the famous folk song Tom Dooley's about him. I wonder if this is where he was held, because his trial was moved from Wilkes County to Iredell so he could get a fair trial, and he was baptized by a Methodist pastor before he was hung. But he was a Confederate soldier, a drummer in the Confederate Army and a fiddle player, and he was in a love triangle. He was with Ann Melton and Laura Walker, I think her name was. And everybody thinks, pretty much all the evidence points to Laura Walker. I think her name was Walker. Anyway, Ann Melton killing Laura. But Tom loved Ann, and he took the fall for it. So anyway, he was tried here in Statesville. Gave his life to Christ, was baptized by a Methodist pastor, and was hung here in Statesville, but I'm not sure exactly where. I wish I could find the county jail spelled with a V. You know, that's old. I wonder what year this thing was built. I wish I could find the memorials for the World War. There's got to be There's got to be World War memorials somewhere here in Iredell County. Unless they didn't lose anybody in the World Wars, and that's hard to believe because Catawba and Lincoln sure lost a lot. Okay, this jail was erected in 1909, so it's 111 years old. So Tom Dooley would not have been held in this jail because he was executed in 1865. But yeah, come check out Statesville, y'all. It's a beautiful, beautiful old city, 231 years old, and there's just all kind of beautiful antebellum houses and architecture here in Statesville, especially along Highway 90. And so anyway, I don't see any memorials for World War II here. I'm kind of disappointed. There's World War I and World War II. There's got to be what was that? Sounds like gunfire. There is a hood in Statesville, like most cities. But I don't know where the World War memorials are here in Statesville. All I found was the Civil War and Spanish-American War. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out and bore y'all, so I hope you have a blessed day. Check out my videos. Give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you like my content. And that will help me be able to go out and do more. As I grow my channel, I will have the resources to go further away from home and do more of these type videos. So anyway, Little Drummer Boy 1970. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out my videos. Catawba County War Memorials, Lincoln County War Memorials, and my 2 videos on the Battle Ramsers mill that I also shot today. Thank you and have a blessed day.